Now let's go into the second tract, that is the ventrolateral spinothalamic tract. We just have to read this in comparison with the dorsal column tract. Ventrolateral column tract is also called as anterolateral spinothalamic pathway. Anterolateral pathway. What are the sensation carried by it? The sensation carried by it is pain and temperature. These are the two most important sensations which are carried, and you will definitely get this in the options also. They also carry the crude touch and sexual sensation and itch and tickle. So all this sensation will be carried by the ventrolateral spinothalamic tract. And they do not require high degree of spatial localization. Like 2-point discrimination cannot be done by this tract because they need a high degree of spatial localization. That all these things will not be done by this. And the most important difference, please note it down, is the decussation which is happening at the spinal cord level. And the velocity of transmission is very, very less. It is just 1/3 of the dorsal column tract. And the ability to change rapidly stimulus, which was done by the dorsal column, cannot be done by this. So everything is just opposite of it, and two most important sensations are carried are pain and temperature. Now coming to the tract. This is a similar diagram. So all of it is very similar. Here is the spinal cord, then we have the medulla, then the thalamus, then finally the somatosensory cortex. The thalamus, the same nuclei it will carry it, the VPL will carry it, and first order neuron. The first order neuron starts from here and ends in the spinal cord itself. That is the difference. The first order neuron starts from the periphery and ends in the spinal cord itself. And there are two groups in this also. One is the lateral and another one is anterior group of fibers. The lateral group of fibers will carry the most important sensation, that is the pain and temperature, whereas the anterior group of fibers, they carry the sexual sensations, itch, tickle. All these are carried by the anterior group. Now coming to the crossing over. The crossing over is very, very important. The crossing over happens at the level of spinal cord itself. You can see here, it is crossing at the level of spinal cord itself. So this crossing over happens at the spinal cord level itself. So what will happen to an injury at the spinal cord level? Let's take our example, same right side, this is left side. Now whenever there is an injury at the spinal cord at one level, suppose here there is an injury, which side sensation will be lost? Here we have done an injury at the left side. Here we have done an injury at the left side. So which side sensation is lost? As you can see here, track it back, the right side sensation will be lost. So whenever there is an injury in the ventrolateral pathway, the contralateral side sensations are affected, especially in case of a spinal cord lesion. We are talking only about the spinal cord lesion. Contralateral side sensation of pain and temperature will be lost. Pain and temperature will be lost. So here it is contralateral, whereas in case of dorsal column it is ipsilateral. What is the difference? There the decussation at the medulla, here the decussation is at the spinal cord level itself. Here itself it has crossed. So the injury will cause at the contralateral side. So these are the important differences we should remember. So when we talk about a Brown-Sequard syndrome, we'll add one more descending tract and we will sum up them in the motor system.